Alrighty. And we're live and waiting for these goobuses. I'll send one a message. Oh yeah, I should probably update that. It's just me for now. Quantity. Goodbye treetop is. There we go. Okay, not quite yet. Public. Okay. Now we just wait. I'll be checking back on this just in case. Every once in a while. Okay, Trinity round 2. This is not professional at all. MonoBlueTron vs. Gavone. One watching. That means it's working, I think. Let me know if you can hear me. Okay, I got a test stream sounds good. Linked and pinged. You can go mono and Gavone. I'll try and focus on the game, but I have to check up on stuff sometimes. We got 2 watchers. Oh, he's a hostin'. Under 40 cards, the Trinity special. I could actually set up a guest commentator if someone really wants to do something or other. But as is, I'd have to like adjust more stuff. And I actually got it to work and kind of be pretty, so. I interrupted my lovely, lovely dinner for this, so I hope you're all happy. Don't worry, Meep. There'll be a recording. I don't know, it's taken a while. Probably distracted, but the temptation to check Discord. I don't know if I should give in. I'm trying to like stay focused on the game instead of just like zipping around my laptop so you all can see. But yeah, I guess it wouldn't really hurt. They have a fancy thing called streamer mode where it protects my identity so I don't get like 1,000 bajillion spam pings, even though I'm not popular to get even one spam ping. So I'll just keep checking. Okay. Unrelated. Yo. And I'm ready. Waiting for that Mono versus Gavone to pop up. Yeah, no, I'm not eating. Sino. Oh, you should check. I posted my dinner in Mono's Health Wars chat. It is lovely, and I will stare at it longingly the entire time. But the game is now underway, so we shall just spectate, watch this most intense rock, paper, scissors battle. Paper strat always wins. It's almost cheating. Okay, I got pinged. I should actually pay attention to this. Yes, it does. Train. It like gets rid of the little number on the end of all of your mentions of yourself. But you're still allowed to ping me a bunch because you already know who I am. It also like it hides like server info and settings. So the classic pack start, terraforming for pack. I bet he was really happy about that battle to code because it meant that he could run 35 terraforming in battle. Both of our competitors today are running under the TCG limit. Oh, is this the tried and true anti-pacifist strategy of don't activate anything? Because it certainly looks like it. Set pass, what a classic. No back row even. That's interesting. I actually know what Gavone's on because I check the decks, but I won't spoil it for anyone until we actually get to see him make plays, if that happens at all, because this is a pack game, and it's like a joke, but it's actually one of the most effective ways to play around it. You like don't actually have to summon anything that has an effect that would allow your opponent to summon a token, when you could just normal summon a 1900A assault core and watch your opponent have to flip a back row on it or something. Or just take the 1900 beats, that works too. Eventually he'll have to do something, but Pacifist is noted for being a fairly not a very proactive deck type. Oh, he's got that mind control though. Which one? The blind set or the known assault core? Okay, it was the assault core. Oh, it was just to get it out of his hand. What is this man doing? I hope he drew 3 monsters, but that's just because I'm mean like that. Only to him. We'll see, though. He might end up, like, just having to pass the assault core back. That would be pretty sad. I'm getting pings again. Oh, no. That was just someone who wanted to chat because I have friends. Hopefully in the future we'll get a stream set up where I can actually check on the chat again. Oh, I called it earlier. Not only did he have to pass the assault core back, he also pitched a chicken game. Greedy boy. Trying to get value out of that card of demise. Yeah. Wait, no. Shoot. Card of demise is at Ko, isn't it? Oh yeah, he's on 40 cards. Whatever. I gave some bad deck stats, but I hope you all still love me. Fiendish Chain seems pretty popular. This is the second time it's popped up in the feature matches. It's a good card. It was like a really good card way back when. Oh, now we know what the set is, a volcanic shell, so I suppose it's good that he didn't try and steal that with the mind control. Unless he's playing Link Karibo, then I guess. But, okay, so he opted to use the Nightmare Phoenix effect. Presumably they're in a voice chat together, so they didn't call the targeting thing. I'm not sure how good of a play that was, knowing that he had a whole bunch of sets. And if one of these are any effect negation, that starts the pacifist train rolling because it counts as activating an effect, even if it's negated. So now Mono is the one with the bigger beater. And he has that piece of disruption in his hand. So we'll see where this goes from here. I know it's like usually a good idea to try and out the pacifist, but sometimes you need to make sure you have 2 outs before you can actually go for it. Looks like he's got some zoo plays in mind, although the Nightmare Phoenix's link arrows aren't particularly nice in this situation. So I guess he's just going to make the Gaia Saber because that's a big, dumb dude that's bigger than a token, even though he knows Mono has the out with the battle that's in hand. But getting the combo out of deck is pretty important because that's a hard brick and it's a very, like, good card, but only engrave. Oh, it looks like he's going for the unicorn. He's trying to get the pacifist off because I guess he has the discard fodder in the shells, and it resolved, so that's something. Now he's gone through all of his volcanic shells, but if he's running Zodiac combo, it's a safe bet to say he's also running similar cards like Pot of Avarice. And spoilers, I've seen his deck list, and I'm pretty sure he's running Pot of Avarice if I remember correctly. So we'll see how much value he can get out of the, like, recycling. This is like a deck that's designed to filter through its monsters fairly quickly. Oh, speaking of the return to deck cards, looks like Mono is playing a Jar of Avarice to put all of his back row and stuff. I think the most impactful one is the card of Demise there, because that gives him another shot at trying to get a big plus out of it. But also, it's not like the terraforming isn't useful. Makes him slightly more likely to re-establish pack, though. Right now he's sitting on a token, so that's not a huge rush. Look at it. It's so cute. This is not cute, even though it's slightly bigger. Foolish Burial is kind of interesting from a very monster-light deck. Maybe we'll see the fabled Mana Dragon Zernatron that we were talking up in a Forbidden list earlier. Because I'm not sure what else Mono is playing for targets in such a monster-light deck. But we'll find out soon. Maybe it's something spicy like Blackwing Zephyros, and he'll return the Fiendish Chain. Nope, I called it. It was Mr. Zernatron over here. So that gives him some resiliency to further removal, even though the Phoenix is gone. You were talking about recycling effects like Avarice, which could certainly put it back, and the generic link to spell and trap removal is really useful when your opponent's entire strategy is to establish one specific field spell and then live off the big boy tokens. You can't actually use the battle because the set monster counts as something that's not a normal monster, and you have to have only normal monsters to be able to use it. So we'll see exactly what that is fairly soon. It looks like he just set a Ghost Ogre to stall. It was because of the card of Demise, I guess. Ooh, but it's going to see some use as link fodder now. He doesn't need to use the battle on the unicorn. Wait, did he just shuffle back the mind control and then draw it with Jar? What a sacky boy. Seems to be working out, though. We'll see what he plays for Link Force. Or maybe it'll just be a Link 2, even though he has... Oh, he went for the Topo Bomber. A big boy. This will be a lot of damage if there's not a Mirror Force in the back row. Oh, no, it's not a Mirror Force, but it helps. Helps reduce that damage just a little bit and makes the Bomber Dragon a little easier to out. That still leaves Gavone with only 4,000 life, which game isn't being represented on board. This is only 3,500 damage, and everything else Mono has is spells and traps. So he has a couple turns, but only a couple, so he's got to start making plays fast. That might be difficult, because we know at least he has a battle. There's the Avarice that I was talking about. So it looks like he can put back some extra deck monsters, maybe 2 of the shells so he can continue to use the other one's effect. And the Rapier would be alright, but you kind of want it engraved for the combo. The A Assault Core is also something you want in Grave, though, because that's even better, the payoff of ABC Dragon Buster. So it looks like I called that right with him putting back the Rat Pier. He was hoping that neither of those two were his volcanic shells. Yep, so now he can use this one. It's a volcanic shell's effect is once per turn, but it's not hard once per turn. So each volcanic shell that's in the grave can then use its effect that turn. So if he has a way to pitch this shell, he can then use the new shell's effect. Well, maybe if you drew that rat, that's not a big deal. Or it could have just been another rat, but it's to help filter. It's not bad at all. And now he has the potential out to this board, and as of now, Mono can't use the battle that he searched because he still has the Topologic Bomber. But looks like he's a little scared of something else in the other two unknown back row, so he's just gonna out the Bomber while he can. Interesting choice. I'm not sure if that's what I would have done. I maybe would have gone into the extra and focused on the token, because as of now, the battle is live again, so he can just pop this if he so wishes, and then Gavone's forced to find another play next turn. Yep, just what I called. So, on the plus side, this is 4 zoo names towards the combo that's set up in Grave, but had the Broad Bull resolve, that would have been 5 if he searched the Whiptail. So, we'll see how this... Oh! We'll see how this pays out. So, that's a rough plus, but Mirror Force Launcher. Oh my gosh, he actually... I remember seeing this in deck check and being like, what? Yeah, so that triggers, so he gets a Mirror Force for free. Fun stuff. But yeah, so... And a Blaze Accelerator Reload. Oof. It looks like he already has the shell in Grave. But if he plays the Scatter Shot, then that means that that's a quick effect Regeki, which is pretty rough. Luckily, Mono knows this is a Mirror Force, which means that he doesn't have to push with the token when he doesn't have to. This wouldn't even be game, so he can just swing with the Sangan and see how much living on the edge Gavone's willing to do by taking damage when he's already pretty low and already wants to pay more life for his Volcanic Shell plus. Looks like he decided to take it, so I'm guessing that means he has another play in one of his 3 remaining cards in hand, and he's just gonna hope that this back row wasn't anything. Or maybe he does have, like, an MST to force it through. We'll see if he's rewarded for making the play into the battle, as opposed to gambling on the back row being nothing. It all comes down to this little unknown boyo. I might have missed a ruling or something. I'm not sure why the Mirror Force launcher came back. Maybe someone in the chat can enlighten me. Anyways, this Volcanic Rocket can add Blaze Accelerator Reload from Graveyard back to hand, so we already know he has at least 1 Volcanic Shell in hand because he searched 1. And he has the Barrage too, so that'll be the 5th Zoo monster, which means even if this back row is like a blowout Torrential Tribute or something, I think Mono's run out of resources this game, so it looks like he was rewarded for making that play into the Phantasm Spiral battle and not letting Mono establish anything. or like just trying to win on pure card advantage. So he's already used two of the Zoo extra deck monsters, but there are still a couple more. So even though he can't search the Whiptail, he can at least just banish the Sangan here. And he's backed up with the Mirror Force that we saw set, so the token is effectively already traded off. Because if it attacks, it gets Mirror Forced. If it doesn't, it gets banished by the Borbo's Whiptail effect next turn. So I think Mono's living on a dream this game. The back row, we haven't really seen it flip. So it looks vaguely dead. He might have used it on one of these, on the Borbo or the Shell if it were effect negation or summon stoppage. Maybe it's his own Mirror Force, but no, looks like it's not. So I think my read is that it's another MST effect that he wasn't willing to use and go full shields down. But I think no matter what it is, this is pretty cleanly in Mr. Gavone's favor. Now he's got the combo live for a draw. We know he's got a Mirror Force set and the reload for more draws. So, yep, now he's going to pitch the Shell. It's only activatable in the main phase, so. But drawing card's pretty good. So we'll see if he can wrap this up. If Mono has some sort of effect negation for the Borbo's Whiptail effect, then he might be able to get by stalling for a little bit more behind the token, because Gavone doesn't have anything super proactive going. But this Tiger Mortar can get the Thoroughblade equipped, so now it's even bigger than the token. But the way Zodiacs interact with effect negation means that their attack also goes to 0, so if it's a lost wind or something, that's pretty rough. That would be sort of interesting if he's not careful and he attacks into like a breakthrough skill. He's only at 2,500 life points, which means that he might take a nice 2k, and if he pays for a Shell without being careful, Mono might get the life point win. I know he also sometimes plays cards like Ring of Destruction, which can be used to help force through that last bit of damage for a win, even if the errata means it's no longer actually killer. So it looks like Gavone still's got some Zoo cards, even though he's gone through most of his Zoo engine. But he always could choose to put it back with the combo. There's just no need right now because he's already in control of the game. May as well thin his deck with the Ram and try and draw more impactful cards, like effect negation and stuff. Oh my gosh, I just checked into that bit about how Mirror Force Launcher resets itself. That's absolutely insane. That card's better than I gave it credit for. That's kind of cute. Xernatron is like small brain. Look at this thing, dead in the graveyard. Foolish Burial was a -1. That Mirror Force Launcher, +1, +2. It hit the Heavy Storm Duster. Like, no sweat. Just take that as a +1. It looks like, while I wasn't paying attention, Gavone did search for that volcanic shell, I guess, so maybe Mono can eke out a win. I think his win condition here is going to be life point damage as opposed to actually winning on card advantage, because Gavone's got a lot of cards. Looks like he's trying to play safe here and still figuring it out. Though maybe he did forget about Mono's Xernatron up in here, so even if he gets this pop established, that's another 2,200 beater. I called that one. That is pretty scary. Gavone goes to 100. And Mono can also get the Xernatron. Oh my gosh. I don't think he'll set the ring though, because at this point it's fairly dead. But he can set like a mind control or something. Still useful. Yep, there we go. I lied. Mirror Force Launcher is bad compared to this card. Look at it. So broken. Let's get that free plus after destroying the opponent's monster with the ring. Ugh. How does Mirror Force Launcher work? Can he, like, still hit the Mirror Force Launcher? Alright, I'm using Mr. Lee's comment here to get that text read. Well, he can just, like, ignore it. So, looks like Gavone's, now he's using that Zodiac combo to try and dig for something defensive, knowing that this Mirror Force isn't gonna cut it when he has the set Heavy Storm Duster. Zooey mama. This is Unitron. What a swing. Even if it weren't a Ring of Destruction, that like 2,000 life points wouldn't have been enough to survive a hit from either of Mono's monsters, so... We'll see if that Phoenix was... Oh! Ah, this is a pretty good card. Let's see, does he have the 3 spell requirement? Nope, he's only sitting on 2, so... At least it can clear out the Xernatron, so he's slightly less likely to just be dead on board. But this token's 2,000 attack. He can chump block at least, but I imagine that on Mono's turn he's going to flip that Heavy Storm Duster on the Mirror Force that we saw and the unknown back row. And we'll see if he has any follow-up or if he's just going to beat over this, like... Actually, Ramram's 2,000 defense, so if this is the Ramram that we saw him search, it's going to be another stalemate, but... Oh, he forgot to take from the ring. Good call. Yeah, that thing hurts both people. That's why it was hit and then errated in the first place, was because it caused too many ties. Also, this is the OCG art. It has a bunch of grenades, which were not suitable on a children's card game card. So the TCG art has actual, like, flames and stuff. But, wow, what a top deck. That's, like, very possibly the game winner here, because he can go into Dante or something that can beat over the Ramram. Ramram floats, though, so you can still chump, but, oh my gosh. Does he play Ghost Trick Alucard to destroy the set monster? Oh, it doesn't matter. Looks like he should have flipped the Heavy Storm Duster in the standby phase before summoning. At least he'll get the Scarm, but that Ramram floats into a Zoo monster, and Gavone's got a full extra of Zoo monsters because we saw him put it back with the combo, so this might be another swing. So out of shells, used up his rocket, so based on the fact that he didn't use the accelerator reload when it was in the grave, he may not play the scatter shots. But so this, along with the Tenki, might be effectively dead cards, and then we know the Mirror Force launcher and the Mirror Force, though I'm not sure what he wants to pitch for the launcher and how many other Mirror Forces he plays as target. So it's very possible that this Mirror Force and this Thoroughblade and whatever's in his hand are Gavone's, like, main cards to try and play out this game, compared to Mono's Heavy Storm Duster and One Unknown and whatever he top decks. That was a big rip, though. Should have played safer with that Heavy Storm Duster. I was just thinking about how if he played, like, I think Ghost Trick Alucard, or I guess the actually good answer would be break Sword his own Fiendish Chain and the Ramram, and then swing with the token and the break sword, and that would have been game. But We don't know if Gavone's on any hand traps or anything, so we'll see. This game's still very close because that 100 life points is not a very safe place to be sitting. However, it does look like Gavone's got he's got control right now compared to Mono, who's on the back foot. He'll have the heavy storm duster, this one unknown back row, which I'm still guessing is another like cosmic or something, and whatever he draws. Yep, so now he's firing it off in the end phase, hitting the mirror force, and he's leaving that launcher there because that thing floats and he knows what it is. And he's leaving the accelerator reload in case he does play the scatter shot. Oh my gosh, what a rip. This is like, wow. Just disgusting off the top after putting it back with the Jar of Avarice. I was like ready to say that this game was over, but it's still so close. So that's a Ray. He can't special summon the turn he activates this card, but Ray's effect is a quick effect to special summon a Sky Striker Ace from the extra deck, which means that he can summon one of the ones that like gains attack. He doesn't have enough spells to actually deal with this 2800 Broad Bull, so here's hoping that one of his two fresh back row is more live than this poor one that's been sitting here for a while. But if it is, then maybe this is another swing, another comeback. Ooh, direct attack for game. Borbo's other effect. Nope, looks like that's an impermanence. So it was something. It doesn't actually solve the Borbo problem because it's only until the end of the turn, but it was good on Gavone's part to understand that the Borbo attacking directly was safer than attacking the Ray because he would have died to the impermanence setting the Borbo to 0. Magician of Faith. Wow, what a spicy. That's kind of scary though, leaving a 300 attack monster in attack position when you're only on 100 life points. Let's see how people are chat. So I guess he's gonna Avarice, and he's probably thinking about it right now. He can return the Phoenix. Returning shells is a scary prospect because it's like, yes, if you draw one, you can cycle it with the reload for something else, but they can't search anything. And you could return half your zoos, but the rest of them are still like right here. All the good ones are still right here, so you don't really want to do that. It's like adding back the Hammer Kong isn't going to give him more live plays the same way that adding the Monster Suite and then the Broad Bull again would. And the Whiptail. And we still haven't seen the other, the B or the C to go with this A, so he might be like sitting on them in hand or just trying to dig to them. But I suppose we'll see in a moment. I don't think that he will return the A. My prediction is that he might just return the Phoenix and the Hammer Kong because those keep his deck thin, and then a couple Volcanics. I missed what he returned. No, it was the Ram and one shell, one rocket, and the 2 extra deck monsters. So pretty close to what I call. It looks like he knows that he doesn't want that other shell because he'll never get the second search, and at least rocket is 1900. And if he does draw his shell, he can cycle it with the reload. Could do the same with rocket, but like, it's a beater, which matters when life totals are this low. We know he's got, presumably, the other Sky Striker maneuvers somewhere in his deck, but that Magician of Faith means that he can't use them. So I wonder if he's thinking about possibly going into that Phoenix that he just returned to clear out a main monster zone and fire off at this one last unknown threatening back row. Plenty to think about. This is a pretty close game. Ooh, it looks like he got it. He got the Union Hanger, which he has not used his normal summons, so he can search the C or the B, and then normal summon, and then equip the other. Oh, it looks like he drew into the B as well. That deck's pretty thin, but this still means that he can fetch the C from deck. It looks like he wanted to equip it instead of search it, which makes sense because getting them out of hand is a more difficult task than, well, you can just use them from field to make ABC, so he would rather do that. And it looks like he is going into a Gaia Saber, presumably, so then he can Dragon Buster. Oh, Unicorn, I guess. Not Gaia Saber. Wait, that's 3 summons, so he can't Dragon Buster this turn. Yeah. Is it? Yeah. It's B, Borbo, and the Unicorn. He might have targeted the Ray with the Unicorn effect, but I guess Mono chained it. Yeah, so this thing, Shizuku still gets its search when it's summoned on the opponent's turn, and it's main phase 2, so can't be beat over or anything. Oh, and it looks like he might have targeted that other one. It's not exactly clear because they aren't clicking on their cards. But Metaverse is pretty interesting. Huh. Oh, yeah, you can add from grave to hand. So, getting rid of that dead rapier. That's really interesting. This actually is like super useful for Gavone's deck because he's playing like shells and stuff, which he can use to just as fodder for Mirror Force Launcher or Blaze Accelerator Reload. Though this is pretty nerve-wracking because he can search the Widow Anchor, and so now Gavone's living on a Mirror Force and a Dream, and I'm not sure that'll be enough when he can, he has a bunch of Sky Striker plays. Yeah, this one can attack directly, which means that he can force the Mirror Force and then summon a Pacifist, and, or summon a Pacifist token, which actually he doesn't need to. He can attack directly, force the Mirror Force, and then use Widow Anchor from hand to take control of the Unicorn, because he has 1, 2, 3, and then attack. And that should be game. So, there we go. What a wild game 1. That was over in like a dozen different places, and then kept going. Ooh. Alright, I'll check on the chat again for you. Yeah. I thought he was gonna go Gaia and then go Buster to banish the set, because Buster would have been more defense, and then he would have been able to like tag out instead of oh yeah. Mono, I'm gonna bug you about what that set was. I want to know if I was right and it was an MST. If you're actually watching this back, I'll bug you about it one way or another. What is the art for Widow Anchor? I thought it was like a crossbow, but that was just because it's vaguely crossbow shaped. Looking at it, it's actually like a hook. I suppose that makes more sense because you're like taking their monster. Interesting. I mean, I can't speak for Konami's R&D, but the art department sort of knows what they're doing. No, Siberian. I don't need a European accent. I'm powerful enough on my own. Maybe next time, though. Oh, one's done siding. Soon to be the other. Okay. And it looks like Mono's going first. It's sort of interesting. Gavone lost that one, so I guess he let Mono go first. I guess you valued the extra card more than the first turn setup, even though he knows that mono is going to be like set 5 pass. Is this Card of Demise? Oh, shoot. Gotta reconnect. Some sort of glitch. I suppose that this is bad for the feature match. Well, yeah, that is true. That's okay. I'm charming enough to make up for your failures. Hi, Bod. Well, hello to you too. I guess now you'll have to watch this back and you'll confirm whether or not I correctly predicted that last back row. So are you actually gonna like quit now, or are you gonna keep playing? Or I know that even though we use Dueling Book, there's some unfortunate history of glitches, especially regarding some zoo monsters. So where like you can't actually do anything with them, and it's kind of awkward. Oh, it looks like he just disconnected then reconnected for internet errors. No, that's okay. I noticed the little light under main phase 1 went out, so... Oh, he's back! We're good! Let's see what anyone else had to say. Ping Bod till he gives me power. No. I can see you when I'm getting pings, but I can also see what you're typing in the chat when I check on it, so... And it doesn't make noise when it's in streamer mode. It just, outside of my cropped zone, my little Discord icon shows that I have a couple extra pings. Wait, is he not back? He's typing. I don't see the little turn phases light up. We gonna have to type this one. Huh. Well, let's do it. We'll figure it out. I suppose that the turn phases and stuff aren't working, but he's obviously here, so. Starting with Union Hanger, that's a little bit better than getting the random A turn 1 and then not seeing it until you're on 8 cards left in deck, not seeing the rest of your pieces. Union Hanger alone is actually, I feel like there's potential there because Union Hanger represents all of your pieces, because you can search for one that equips B and then B searches the last piece. So you can grab like A or C, or just grab B. Like they all float. It's pretty good. But yeah, so like Union Hanger represents A, B, and C, which means that you could theoretically build a fairly small deck that's like multiple Union Hanger and or field spell search cards, and like still be able to consistently access the multiple letters even though you don't actually play multiples of the letters. And even one Buster, or not Buster Drake, even one Dragon Buster is still very powerful. Like, and you can always opt to play a second for if you get the dream of like summoning it and then resolving its banishing effect that summons the pieces again. It looks like he equipped C. Oh, I see. This is they actually have effects when they're union monsters. A monster equipped with this card is unaffected by your opponent's trap effects, which I suppose he's gonna do just so now Mono has to deal with this 1500, what's it called? Elemental Hero Wildheart against all this back row. So theoretically, Gavone might not have to activate another card for the rest of the game, and we'll see what Mono has to say about that. But Tour Guide's pretty good as far as like low commitment proactive plays that you can splash in a deck like Pacifist, so that's definitely something. I guess we'll see. It looks like he got Sangan this time. I noticed last game that he played Skarm, so I guess Sangan is his Scarm target. He might only play 3, or maybe he plays a 4th, but can go Wee Witchling, which is people used to always go into that Master King Archfiend, but the Wee Witchling is only 100 less attack because it buffs itself, and coincidentally, it reduces the Buster Drake, so that's pretty helpful. And it still triggers the Sangan, and it floats, so you can get back the Sangan or the Tour Guide. And we know that Mono's on the Scarm, so he could get back the Tour Guide and have another target. Well, don't know if the Scarm has more targets. I'm not even sure what he has for Sangan targets other than like Ray, Ghost Ogre. I guess that's all you really need. Not sure what the last card in hand is. If he didn't set it, then presumably it's another monster or a hand trap. Unless it was the Tour Guide, and this is what he drew for turn. He searched for DD Crow, so that's a pretty savage side card. He can use it to negate this ABC setup off the Union Hanger just by getting rid of one of the letters. But the other Union monster effect, it doesn't die. You can destroy the C instead of the B if you so choose to keep it on board, which means he'll have it as link material if he wants to make a counter push. Yeah, I was going to say that math did not look right, because the Witchling is 1900 and the Buster Drake is 1100. Oh, it looks like the math was right, because light monsters are reduced by 400, and oh. Looks like he was thinking about doing something different, but Mono's a good guy. He wouldn't shark that hard. Damage step. Ooh. Lost Wind. Well, that'll keep that Buster Drake rolling. Wee Witch would go to 700, and the Buster Drake would go back up to 15. And how interesting. Well played. Yeah, so that math checks out, but the Wee Witch still gets that float effect, so. But the thing about Lost Wind is, even though he's able to add back a Tour Guide, if he goes Tour Guide Scarm into the extra deck, Gavone can still set the Lost Wind. This card's pretty good. So we'll see what goes on from here. But keeping this C Crush Wyvern equipped to the B Buster Drake means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 to 7. So Excite Knight is off the table for now, but a Foolish Burial or something that's -1 from hand might change the tune. Or even just normal summoning a level 4 and not using the Crush Wyvern for it. That's a little disappointing, though. You would rather get the float effect, but man, that rank 4 is pretty strong-o. No F. Looks like he might be going for it. That's 2 4s. He'd be leaving the A in deck. It looks like he's going for the attack first. The Buster Drake is still unaffected by traps, so he's safe from the Mirror Force. It looks like Mono wants to reduce this clock, because that would be dead across 3 turns. Just these 2 swinging in, I think. That's my, knee-jerk math. Yeah, someone in the YouTube chat was saying summoning the C off the B triggers Union Hanger again, so he would have the option to equip A from deck, and then he could go into ABC without worrying about the Crow. But ABC, while powerful, is also it's not great when you're banishing your field to summon it instead of banishing from grave. It's not as much advantage, at least, so. Oh, well, there's a Torrential, but this Buster Drake is unaffected by traps, so. So yeah, that C does not go to the grave. Please read your cards. This advice applies to everyone. All of you. Everyone. Even me. Oh, true. True. Alright, well. We know that Mono has a tour guide and a DD Crow and 2 unknowns, and then 2 unknown back row. So the DD Crow could technically remove the lost win, but I'm certain that he'd rather save it for the one of the letters if possible. So it's a little bit of a stalemate where Gavone doesn't want to do anything too explosive with these letters, but also it's unaffected by traps. So it looks like Mono's his way to deal with this situation is to go into a Gofu play. Ooh! Yeah, the tokens are winged beasts, so Daruma Doll is pretty good. You can send a trap from each side of a speller trap, like destroy him on each side, so he gets rid of the useless fiendish to pop that Union Hanger, or I guess the Crush Wyvern. Oh, nice. That puts it in grave where he can DD Crow it without having the A access, and that neuters that part of Gavone's engine. But I think it's pretty good to side counter banishment stuff, like different dimension reincarnation and burial from a different dimension, because in graveyard based decks you know that they're bringing in the Called by the Graves, the DD Crows, the like Yoshi Woshi, you know, the ghost girl that hits graveyard stuff. Daruma Doll is 1700 because it gains attack for Beast Warriors and Wing Beasts. And that's Wing Beast, and that's Beast Warrior. So it should count itself. Yep, there's the math. So now even though he can get that B search, that poor lonely C is stuck in the extra up until Gavone gets some sort of banishment return going on, if he plays any. I'm not sure why Mono added the DD Crow back to hand. Does this thing... Oh yeah, that's broken. When it destroys a monster by battle, you can add... Woo! That is pretty good right there. So now he like... He also has the DD Crow to target the volcanic part of the deck, or a Zodiac combo to make Gavone run out of steam, or just to disrupt a Pot of Avarice or something. And yeah, I believe that Gavone missed that Lost Wind trigger, or it's possible that he held it back because the Daruma Doll has a Speller Trap popping effect. But yeah, remembering that is a pretty important thing. It's more likely that he just was holding back because the Daruma Doll has a trigger effect that would have destroyed it. But Barrage is pretty good. This Union Hanger is useless now that all of his letters are gone, so he can keep the Barrage around, and we know he has a couple extra zoos in deck. This is like enough steam for 2 zoo plays though, so he'll need like some sort of Jar of Avarice effect to continue his zoo plays, because the big ones are Broad Bull and Tiger Mortar, because they're the ones that get your Thoroughblade and Whiptail equipped, and that's what makes your zoo monsters big, because even Ram is only 400 attack. But Oh dear. That was an interesting scoop. He didn't do the life point math right, and I was like, "This is 5 cards," but I guess losing out on that C, he didn't have anything to crack it, and he knew that any follow up play from like any like graveyard return would continue to be disrupted by the crow, and it's possible he's sitting on like 3 volcanic shell, and we didn't know. So yeah, that's that. That was feature match round 2. I am happy to have everyone watch, and that will end it here. So see y'all around.